Actually,
Yeah.
Actually, I have bad news to deliver. So I drove all the way to New Orleans to deliver it to you over the quarter. I thought that would be better for everybody. What do you think?
It's going to take the sting out of it for sure to enjoy that view behind you while we chat.
I am in my favorite city in the universe. I haven't met any off the planet that I like better than this one anyway. I'm in New Orleans. We're all going to be, I say we're not all. That is the saddest news that I have for you today. Many of us are going to be in New Orleans together this Halloween.
The original unofficial fan podcast for Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles and the Lives of the Mayfair Witches. Welcome to the Coven, you butterscotch bitches.
You butterscotch bitches!
Okay, we're going to start with that. Tonight's episode is an AMA episode. We're going to be wrapping up our coverage of the Vampire Lestat and going into our off-season ever so slightly with Flan again, starting next week. And I reached out to our patrons and I said, let's do an AMA. Y'all got questions? We got answers. Let's chit-chat.
We love to talk.
I am going to start with what was not the first question. I think it's actually pretty far down my list here. Let's see. Bingo. It wasn't. I had it about the third or fourth, but we're going to start with this one. Heather Heiss says, is the 2026 Convergence still planned for the new Maroney Theater? Would you be willing to share your hopes, dreams for the event, or share any concerns or conundrums? What do you plan to wear? Have we invited Daniel Hart? First of all, if my mustache is off tonight, y'all, I feel like I've got it way in my face. And I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to pick at it and just let it be. I know many of you are listening to me, so it won't matter at all.
Is it?
Heather, thank you for the question.
How's that humidity out there?
Oh, it is sticky.
Thick.
It is. We swam to Rouse's earlier down the street.
Look, listen, New Orleans in August is a bold move. I've done it.
There is a breeze right now off of the river. Thank God. That is really giving me a little bit of life. Heather, if we had this AMA episode 2 weeks ago, I would have said, yes, of course. Y'all. Okay, I've got a travel story to tell in a little while too, but just know we're going to cut in res in the middle of what was one of the worst travel experiences of my entire life this weekend. I was also facing the fact that we had lost our venue for this Halloween. Look, it's nobody's fault, really, and genuinely, I don't want anybody to get mad at New Maroney because here's the good news. Here's part of the good news sandwich. We're at the New Maroney with a contract 2027. We're not only that, we're going to be there Sunday, the 31st. We're going to be there on Halloween, and we're going to be there from like in the morning, sometime 10, 11, and we'll have a multi-hour event. We'll have a con. We'll have a convention in 2027 at the New Maroney. They were double booked, y'all. They were double booked. And look, it's going around.
It is.
Because Rose Sinister is also double booked for Halloween.
Yeah.
I found that out about a week ago. Rose is busy on the 30th, so it is just going to be Ashley and I. And I say just Ashley and I. That's not entirely true. We have some accompaniment with us, and I think we're going to have some special guests for that live performance in different ways. But I am still finalizing the venue, so I cannot tell you those details on where we're going to be in 2026. I do need you to know, though,
we're going to be somewhere.
My panic attack is over, and we've got not just one, but I've got 3 totally viable options that are working. It's about finalizing the details, how much I'm going to have to spend that I wasn't expecting to necessarily, and what the hours are, and maybe potentially the worst thing that might could happen is there might be a shift from Friday night to Saturday afternoon or something. But if you're going to be here this Halloween weekend with us, we will have the live event. I promise. I am so sorry that the New Maroney is off the table for this year. So there's the baddest news. There's some good news. We're going back to New Maroney. We are going there in 2027, and they were so apologetic about the whole thing, and we've had a great conversation with them. I'm actually going to see them this week since I'm in New Orleans.
Very good.
I'm also going to the venue that is most likely to host the 2026 Convergence. Hopefully late this week, I can give you all the details, those of you who have already bought tickets. I will say, if you're listening to this podcast and you have thought, boy, I'd really like to go to the Convergence, but I haven't bought those tickets yet. There are literally a handful. I went to our patrons, our support team, our street team, and made sure who hadn't booked yet. So I've got those tickets accounted for. There are a handful on sale still. If you'd like to go get them while they're available. Here is the even better news, though, Ashley. As if I was disappointed in one event not happening exactly like I wanted to. How about we just make another event?
Yeah.
Let's go to Indiana.
We're going to go to Indiana. Thanks, Jolie.
So listen, Ashley and I have been talking about it for a while. March 8th, 2027 is the 10th anniversary of our first episode. Ashley and I talked about our favorite vampire and began this journey in 2017. March 8th will make 10 years of the Articulate Coven.
Awesome.
And I wanted to recognize that in some way. Jolie, one of our great patrons and a partner, a team member, part owner at the Lake Potonka Winery and Marina, I should say. It is a whole complex, y'all.
It is a compound. It is the coolest
The way that she pitched
place.
this thing, right?
It's the coolest fucking place, y'all. It's like a little, we're talking distillery, we're talking winery, we're talking brewery, we're talking place to stay.
And a hotel in between.
Yeah.
Yes, so there will be no driving when we get there. Indiana is going to be a really cool experience. Here's what we're going to do for the 10th anniversary. We're going to get together on Friday night, and Ashley, Brett, and their improv crew, I may throw in an assist here or there. We're going to have an improv comedy show Friday night.
We sure are.
A lot of locals are going to be there, but if any of you can make it in for Friday night, we'd love to have you for that as well. Saturday, we're going to have a big Articulate Coven event. We're going to hang out, first of all, do some cool stuff, go see all the stuff on property, right?
Yeah.
But we will also do a live recording there at the Lake Pinotonka. Am I getting the name right? Pinotonka. I'm not getting it right.
No, you're butchering it.
Patoka. I'm making my own. I'm butchering it.
Patoka.
Lake Patoka. Good God. Patoka Lake Winery in Indiana. The details are now on the website for that, the location anyway. We will have ticket sales up for that event very soon. And here's what you need to know on that. Because this is a patron hosted thing and it's on their complex, we're going to make this so cheap for you to come to. She's given us a great rate on rooms. First of all, if you want to come and hang out with us that weekend, I'm saying it's not quite yet spring break, right? It's not summer camp. Right? That's what we're doing here. It's going to feel like going to camp, except it'll still be a little chilly up there. It's going to be cheaper to get to. It's also a part of the country that might be easier for some of you all to get to than New Orleans necessarily. It's a lower traffic time of the year than Halloween, probably. So if that sounds like fun to you, details coming soon on the ticket for that. And again, yes, we'll have the tickets up for 2027 Convergence as soon as I can. But genuinely, I'm signing a contract this week.
This has been a ride, you guys. This has been a ride.
And here's the thing. I didn't even tell Ashley about all of this. I started dumping it in the chat group. She messaged me. She's like, catching up on the chat, friend.
Yeah, I was in Las Vegas this weekend where time has no meaning. You don't see a clock anywhere. There are no windows, so you have no idea what time of day it is at any given time. So I was in my own weird time warp in Las Vegas. And so I was trying to catch up on the chat and it was crazy.
Quickly, I want to tell a little bit of the travel story. So Judah and I think I'd mentioned this on the show before. We drove cross country for work. I was in Arizona. I was in Scottsdale last week. And it was a wonderful trip. Judah and I had not really looked at the resort we were staying in until we got there. This was a 5-star giant, the Phoenician in Scottsdale, if anybody want to look it up. Joel cannot afford these rooms, okay? We did walk into the lobby a little bit with a country come to town sort of attitude, I will admit. We were going, well, this is nice. Amazing pools, great bars, good restaurants. People are really nice in Scottsdale. It's a fun travel town. So we had a good time. On the way back, Judah and I had dreamed since the last time I drove through Arizona. I'd said, why have I never been to Tombstone? It's right there off the highway. Why should I not go?
I mean, what a place to go to.
So we watched the movie. Judah had never seen it. So he and I watched the movie in Scottsdale. And he dug it. Of course he did. It was right up his alley. And I said, we're going to go. We're going to go see the gunfight. We're going to go see the museum. We'll see the newspaper. There's a whole streets are rebuilt, and it's a whole thing.
The birdcage.
The birdcage is there. The birdcage theater is there. The Crystal Palace, which is the one that Wyatt owned, or owned a piece of anyway. They're all there. They've all been rebuilt. It's very, very cool, honestly. Also, it's not. I mean, I will say it's August in Arizona, so it's probably not the high point for their season of travel.
Right.
but it was not incredibly crowded either. And the souvenirs were totally reasonably priced. I should have brought it out here. I got an amazing Say When shirt. It's got Doc Holliday's face in an outline, and it says Say When on it. Yeah. Anyway, that was really fun. And if you're ever in that area, I cannot recommend enough stopping there. It was $10, Ashley, and we got to view the museum itself with like this history diorama, narrated history of Tombstone by Vincent Price.
Lovely.
You're like, what? Why did you get Vincent Price? Okay, great. It was cute. That was like 20 minutes for that. And we went and saw the newspaper, and they give you a reprint copy of the newspaper from the day after the gunfight with all of the stories in it, which is really cool. And then we went down to the OK Corral. You get to see the actual corral is open. You can walk. They've got mannequins set up where they were standing when the gunfight happened. And Fly's photography is right there. You can walk in and check it out next to it. And then there is a little closed off arena that is set up theater style where they do like a 25-minute play about the OK Corral. Like they tell Wyatt and brothers arriving in town all the way up to the fight itself. And then Doc Holliday narrates everybody's happy endings or sad endings, right? It's actually pretty cool. I got my picture taken with Doc Holliday and Virgil and Morgan and Wyatt. It was adorable.
Excellent.
And then we drove into the desert. Judah and I, the plan was to drive from Tombstone to Pecos, Texas, which was a jaunt. It was going to be like a 10-hour drive, I think, and late in the day. However, we blew a tire about an hour out of Tombstone on my rental car. Okay, great. There's a sandstorm coming. Okay, fine. I'll call roadside assistance, which I've paid for. Roadside assistance is going to be minimum 90 minutes, as much as 3 hours. And I said, okay, that's nutso, but okay, I'll change the tire myself. So Judah and I go and check all the stuff. Spare tire is there. Tire iron is there. No jack in the car. No jack in the car, y'all. So many phone calls to Enterprise later and roadside assistance. 3 different service providers that I was told had been dispatched and then canceled for unknown reasons. I was told 2 or 3 times by the roadside assistance person that it was illegal for them to send me roadside assistance and I had to call Highway Patrol, which I did, by the way. Highway Patrol was trying to help me out. Eventually, AAA sent a truck. 5.5 hours later, Judah and I got an old man with a nice jack to help change the tire. And we were back on the road with a spare, which we limped along to a hotel. We were in Lordsburg, New Mexico at this point, and we spent the night, got up the next morning, and still Enterprise was like, nope, can't send you a car. Don't know what to do. No, there's 100 miles to the next Enterprise place. And I was like, well, I can't drive on the spare for 100 miles. We drove to like a Walmart 55 miles away at 50 miles an hour and paid to change the tire myself, and then drove home 14 hours. We got home 5:30 Monday morning. And here we are. I turned right around and drove to New Orleans, Ashley. Like literally within 24 hours, I turned around and drove to New Orleans. I'm a crazy person.
You have had the worst travel luck this particular year.
It's really bad.
It's really
been bad.
It's really bad. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I can't even relate right this moment, though I have related in the past. You know, I had my car break down on a cross-country trip one time. It was really awful and horrifying. But, I mean, I've been taking direct flights places and having no trouble. I'm like living large over here. I'm like, fly to New York, fly to Las Vegas. Let's take direct flights. I'll spend the extra 100.
My cousin, who I am working with this week in New Orleans, we were messaging earlier, and they were complaining because there was no direct flight from Birmingham to New Orleans. And I said, there aren't really direct flights to New Orleans from anywhere other than like Dallas and Memphis and Atlanta and Denver. Like it's the hubs.
Little Rock.
You got to go to a hub.
Well, we have I think I'm 99.9% sure we have a direct flight to New Orleans.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Shreveport's got a direct flight to New Orleans, but it doesn't run every day, I don't believe.
No, ours doesn't. I don't think ours does either. That's kind of the key there, you know, like it's not an everyday flight. That is Southwest to Vegas, though. That bitch is popping off like every 4 hours on the reg.
I just realized we've gotten 14 minutes in and we haven't introduced ourselves. This is the Articulate Coven. We are your hosts. I'm Joel.
Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. And I am in New Orleans. I don't know why I'm updating you like we're on the radio, by the way, and somebody's joining us midstream. Heather, I'm going to finish answering your question now. So no, it's not going to be at the New Marini Theater anymore. We are still going to have the event this Halloween. It should be on October 30th. I'll confirm that for you, though, late this week, I believe, and where it's going to be as well. Those of you who have already purchased tickets especially. We are shooting for a 50-seat space. That's the size of our audience. So like I said, there are a handful of tickets still left. If you were on the fence and planning to go grab it now and you can still join us. Honestly, all of the venues where this is going to be. Now, let me get into what I expect, what my hopes and dreams are. All of the venues where this is going to be will effectively allow us to do at scale what you and I got to do at the Will and the Way and at MRB last year in our little meetups. Each of us had a handful of moments with our listeners and made new friends in a way that is, I mean, Heather, I know you. You and I talk sometimes, right? And I would say you're not even the mouthiest in the group. I feel like Mandy and Melissa and Tony and Kayla, and I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm going to stop naming names specifically because I was like, what are you doing, Joel? Now you're going to have to name 150 people. But genuinely, y'all have become like part of my daily carry.
Yeah,
I've got two best friends who I talk to in a text thread all the time. I've got my wife, my mom, my kids, Ashley, and then now a big handful of you that I literally interact with on a regular basis about life stuff as well as this vampire bullshit.
Y'all,
we're going to do that in a big room together is what we're going to do.
I was bitching about work today because, you go on vacation and you're like, I'm ready to face the job again. I'm refreshed and revitalized and ready to go. And then you get back to work and all the fuckery that happens because you were gone for 2 days, and I was bitching about my day in the group in our chat, and fucking Casey came through with like a great playlist for me because I was like, I need a playlist for the feeling when everyone you work with is a fucking idiot. And she delivered. My God. Yeah, no, it was so cool last year to get to hang out. You guys, the other thing is, my favorite thing about the event was not even necessarily us getting to meet people, but everyone getting to meet each other and making those connections, because some of our peeps have been chatting together for, like 5-6 years in our Facebook group. So it was really cool to get to see everybody connecting, getting to have that, like, my God, like you will, like Zach's like, I drive all my friends crazy. I drive everyone that knows me, I drive them fucking nuts. Well, you know who you can talk to about Anne Rice for 3 days and it's going to be just fine? All the fuck of us. So
these folks,
it's so wonderful. Like, it just, I can't describe how lucky we all felt in that time in New Orleans last year. And I'm glad a couple of people have started kind of posting some pictures and some kind of reminiscing about it, just to sort of let everyone know what it kind of felt like. And I just immediately was like, I can't fucking wait. October cannot get here fast enough. I am so pumped to see everybody again.
100% agree with that. I've started building, and we're having some members add to a spreadsheet where anybody who's coming to Halloween, even if by the way, if you don't plan on seeing our live show, but you're like, I am going to be in New Orleans this Halloween. Like, I'd love to bump into you guys.
Yes,
a bunch of us are going to be here. Come bump into us. We will help make that happen and facilitate. Hey, I want to get a group together and go to the Storyville Museum. It'll be cheaper if 10 or 15 of us go. Yeah. Right? I want to go to do this. I want to go to do that. Let's get group rates together, and will help facilitate that for you all.
And I mean,
that sort of stuff's a lot of fun.
Between our crew that we have, so many of us have done a lot of the experiences you can have in New Orleans. So even if we're not like going this time, we're happy to help you figure it out, give you some advice, best time of day to do it, etc., that sort of thing. So I mean, yeah, come join in the fun, even if you're not hitting the actual like live event.
I have nailed down, and I'm not going to give you the details now, but I have nailed down a karaoke spot for us for Halloween weekend.
Yes.
They're super excited to have us too. So it's going to be a very, very good time. And we're going to have a couple of those VIP meetups. We will be getting together. We're going to do not just one. We're going to do 2 tours with Rose Sinister across the weekend.
Yeah.
She's going to help book us on Sunday and on Saturday. So again, get in the Facebook group if you want details, and whether you're coming to see us do the podcast or not, come and get in the group and get active. Attire. What are you going to wear? Personally, I'm going to wear something with my logo on it because I am a vain motherfucker.
Yeah. I will definitely be sporting some logo this time. I did not have any gear yet last time. Y'all in New Orleans,
let's talk. We might custom order you something. We can print that logo on just about anything you want to. So let's discuss. I've got a black dress shirt that I've been dreaming of putting it on the back of. That may be my thing for I've got this. Okay, some of y'all are going to be so disappointed because I told you I'd be in costume tonight. I was supposed to shoot another podcast today with Rose Sinister. Rose is stuck in Florida. If you follow Rose online, she's still in Florida. She and I were commiserating about travel issues. It's been even worse for her, honestly. She wasn't stranded on the side of the interstate, but there were complications on a home that she owned there. And y'all, it's hard out here for young creatives.
It's hard out in these streets. It's hard unless you could get a direct flight. It's tough out in these streets.
Rose, though, she was so sorry. She was like, oh my God, we can't. So she was going to miss her regular recording schedule.
God bless.
And Zarina Hellfire, her co-host, is traveling tomorrow, so we couldn't do it later. We couldn't do it tomorrow, etc. So Rose and I, then it was back. I was like, hey, just come to the hotel and we'll do it in the courtyard. You and me can record something in the courtyard. And Zarina was like, yes, do that and I'll react to it later. And so we had that set up, and then, she couldn't even get back to town. So it all worked out fine. I do have, though, a lovely flowing white linen shirt thing that I got to wear on her show, which I just found out we're going to get to go to Dirty Linen Night on Saturday because it's going on right now.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I will have an appropriate shirt to wear for that. And you all will almost definitely wear that shirt. We'll see that shirt through videos and photos this weekend, but probably I'll wear it next Halloween as well.
Y'all, depending on the weather, which I do not expect us to have as cool of a weekend as we had the last time we were in New Orleans. It was abnormally cool. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was very pleasant.
I mean, my MO in New Orleans is like sundresses. I'm a sundress gal. I'll be wearing the least clothing that I can appropriately wear in public. I hate being hot. So yeah, I'm a sundress gal all the way. I was in Vegas this weekend and I did not put on pants except to get on and get off the plane. So I will be
as cool and comfortable is absolutely welcome in whatever venue we will be in.
Brett and I do have Halloween costumes planned this year. Last year we just took our big fuzzy bear onesies, which worked out perfectly because it was cold as fuck on Halloween, and just ran around the quarter drinking beers in our bear onesies. So that was fantastic. But yeah, we do have some Halloween costume plans for this year.
The spread is wide open for you, genuinely. Heather, and this goes for everybody else too. If you want to be very dressy all weekend, you can do that and it will be appropriate. If you want to be in costume all weekend, do that, and it will be appropriate.
You want to be goth as fuck all weekend? Please goth as fuck it. When I was in New York, going to the premiere and the one night only event, all I could think the whole time was, God, I would rather be with all these people in New Orleans because I was on the Upper West Side or the West Side and it was so snooty and weird. And all I wanted to be was like, I just wanted to be a little freak with all the freaks, and it was so strange. But New Orleans is literally for everyone, like you want to wear a t-shirt and bike shorts, wear that. You want to wear fancy fucking dress all weekend, wear that. You want to march around with a parasol and some fancy fucking accessories, girl, get you a headdress. Let's do this shit. I'm saying New Orleans is the best delicious bite of a city you'll ever have.
This might come out sounding like I mean it crappy, and I really don't. I was a little jealous of all the folks that were at SDCC. I was watching Gore and Autumn Brown got together with a bunch of folks, mostly content creators, but not all. Some were just fans. They did a little meetup. after SDCC and had their little time together. And it looked great. Looked like so much fun. And I did immediately. I was like, see, the Coven's getting together all over the earth. This is fantastic. However, I did think San Diego ain't nearly as fucking cool as New Orleans is.
No, it's not. It just isn't. I'm sorry. New Orleans is the best place to have a meetup with your fucking Anne Rice band friends. It just is. There's just no better place to do it.
And now I know we both just pitched you a meetup in Indiana, and now here we are saying, however, Indiana's got Bigfoot though, so it's fine. We're going to go see a different monster, y'all.
Oh, I love cryptids, you guys. If you are anywhere near any of the Mothman exhibits, please take photographs and send them to me. If you live anywhere close to that Mothman statue with that fucking ass, he has an ass that will not quit. I saw Thunder from Down Under this weekend, the Australian male strip show at the Luxor.
I've always wanted to see it. Was it good?
It was hilarious. So my friend that we were going with, this was her only request. She was like, will you go to Thunder from Down Under with me? And I said, yes, I will.
Yes.
And it was the most absurd, hilarious experience. First of all, in the spirit of girlhood, we of course made 2 new best friends in the bathroom before the show. Right? I was like, oh my God, you are gorgeous. Your top is amazing. You look, mwah. Turns out she has 3 kids and really needed that hype. So we did it, you know? And then I said I was from Arkansas and she was like, oh God. But then she really quickly
Not like that.
Well, no, see,
I'm from Little
exactly.
Rock.
So there was an act. They were like, all right, let's have a man in uniform. And both of us were literally like looking at each other. We were like, what uniform? Because ACAB, you know? And she died. She was like, oh my God, you're cool. You're blue. You're blue in a red place too. Because she was from like fucking Iowa. Anyway, it was just one of those awesome like experiences where you meet girls and become best friends. We ended up sitting next to them during the entire show. It was hilarious. But
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Highly recommend Thunder from Down Under if you need that taste. But none of them had asses. Only one of the guys had like I like a good ass. My husband played college football, you know? I like a good ass. And only one of them had like a proper ass. And I caught myself thinking about that Mothman statue during the strip show.
What we need is a caked up cryptid. That's what we need, Ashley.
Look, I love a caked up cryptid. Send me photos if you are near Point Pleasant. I need to see it.
So if we're suggesting Vegas shows, Kelly and I went a few years ago. We were there for a wedding for one of my clients' weddings, and we went to see Absinthe at Caesar's Palace, which is like their burlesque show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at the end of Absinthe, or I guess halfway through, 3/4 through, whatever, they have an audience participation section where they call up 2 couples onto stage to compete against each other in a lap dance, where the man of the party gives a lap dance to the woman of the party.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the lap dancers. It was a tie in the end. I did not beat my opponent. However, we all got free drinks though. So
my new friend faked an orgasm on stage, which was really, they had like women compete faking orgasms. It was hilarious.
I'll have what she's having.
They literally used that clip to introduce the game.
That's the way to do it. Y'all, okay, we're doing an AMA and Ashley and I have answered one question. Heather, you've had your question answered.
Heather, we're done with that. We're
Patrick
moving on.
Garone. Patrick
Look, listen,
Garone.
I'm definitely drinking a cocktail while we do this because I've had a day.
I have had some substances. Patrick, all legal. Patrick says 2 questions. By the way, Patrick has...
Love you, Patrick.
I'm going to go get the right name out. Patrick Garone has a book out right now that you can get pre-sale on it.
I can't wait
Let
to
me make
start
sure
reading
that I have
it,
the title
Patrick.
right.
I'm so excited.
He's sending us this week, I believe. We Lowly Gods is the name of the new one. He's got a couple of books out, but We Lowly Gods is the new one. If you're into, for instance, Greek mythology right now with the Odyssey in theaters doing so well, go check out Patrick's book. Okay,
I'm so pumped, Patrick.
By the way, Patrick's going to be on stage with us for the Convergence in 2026. He and I are working on some interesting things about that. More later. You all have been oddly, mysteriously silent on the What We Do in the Shadows franchise. Have we, Patrick? I swear we've talked about it before. Seems like a natural subject for an afterlife, and the show at least has some Anne Rice references sprinkled in. Have you guys watched or are you fans of the movie or shows? I'll let you start.
Well, here's my dirty little secret. It's on my to be watched list, but I have not watched any of it yet.
I didn't know that. I swear I thought we've talked about Laszlo in particular.
We have. No, we haven't.
Okay.
I know the I am familiar
You've seen the memes. Yeah.
I'm familiar enough with the references to carry through and enjoy all of that. No, see, here's the thing. This is one that's been a little overhyped, and I've been a little concerned about not enjoying it as much as people expect me to enjoy it. So I just haven't done it yet.
That's very fair. That's very fair. So I would not call myself an uber fan because I still have not finished the series. The 7th season's out there. I believe it's 7. I'm fairly certain we finished 6. Maybe it's just 6 seasons. Anyway, the final season, Kelly and I have not watched. We watched everything except that. We came late to that series. And I'm fairly certain we watched the film first. We knew that they were both out there. I had never seen the movie. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try, but I just never gotten around to it. I love Taika. Taika's not directly involved, but what's the guy, Jermaine Clement? I love him.
I love him.
Right? Like I love this entire creative crew. Matt Berry, I'm like a gigantic fan of Matt Berry and was before the show.
Also, big fan of New Zealand shit, like New Zealand produced shit. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Okay.
But
there's
I don't
a connected show.
The Parks and Recreation, like for me, it's like I tried to watch Parks and Rec and everyone was like, Ashley, you're going to love this show. This show is going to mean more to you than anything has ever meant in your life. And you're going to connect to it so hard and laugh your ass off. And I have not been able to get past the first season. And it's the worst feeling ever. So
the first season is so not good in comparison to the rest of that show. It's not. Okay. Do you remember the first season of The Office? How it was literally, they were just trying to remake the BBC version and then they finally found their footing. Okay. It's not that.
Yeah, so
but it is almost as bad.
Yes, but I didn't watch The Office for like
a long time too.
It's just one of those things. I don't know, guys, but I will. It's on my real to watch list. I just have to figure out when I'm mentally prepared to have the experience and then deal with whatever feeling I have about it.
Yeah. It just occurred to me that as the longer we go, Ashley, the better my video is going to look. And I am so excited. The sun will set and the city will light up. And oh my God. Anyway, okay. Patrick, we will get to it. It will absolutely be an afterlife at some point. I can't imagine it won't be. It's too much fun.
It should be.
We'll be dealing with another deep show for a main podcast at some point, and we'll be like, it's time for some comedy. Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
Wellington Paranormal, though. That was what I was going to suggest to you. There's a spinoff show called Wellington Paranormal, which is about cops in Wellington who only focus on the supernatural cases. Like the first case is a zombie.
It's like New Zealand X-Files.
And they are both. So the main two leads that start the show, I think the leads change as the show. It's like 4 seasons. It's all on HBO Max, I think. I have not seen all of it, but I've seen, I think, 3 seasons of that. It is one of my favorite foreign pieces of comedy, honestly. Like it's way up there. Yeah.
Yeah. The New Zealand Taskmaster is quite fun. You know, like I am a huge fan of Flight of the Conchords.
And you know how we both feel about Australians, period. So anybody in that region, honestly.
We do have strong feelings. But you know, like my love for New Zealand is its own little like vein of awesomeness, you know, like because I have a real thing for Carl Urban, you know,
I want him to put that dread helmet on and talk to me, Ashley. Just talk to me, Judge.
Look, listen, Amiee can throw me on the back of his horse anytime he would like and take me off into wherever.
I'm not a doctor, I'm a lover.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Also,
Bones
can also be aggressive with me. I do not care. Yeah.
What is I don't know about you. I have discovered how much I like Carl Urban just then in that conversation.
Oh, no, I know how much I like Carl Urban. Yeah.
What is a less familiar Rice book that each of you is excited about reading or rereading? I I'm going to go first here, Ashley. I really want to work through, and I don't honestly think that Ashley is the person to do this with. I think I'm going to have to get a new guest for this section. I want to do the Jesus books, and I'd like to do them I would like to actually go through them like we have done our previous books. What I'm thinking is this will eventually be some sort of afterlife, and I'll end up bringing another lapsed Catholic or something like that on.
Ooh,
to
are
have
you
those
friends with
conversations
Caleb?
Caleb Baumgartner?
Yeah.
I am. Caleb Baumgartner might be a brilliant. And you know my position on having two men speak to each other on a podcast.
Well,
Ashley.
I could, but here's the thing: I will read them, and I will still do it, and give you the like agnostic.
He's not just a Catholic; he's like a knight. Like he's in an order and stuff. Okay. I got to message him about that because I know he likes those books too. You genuinely, her religious writing is fantastic, y'all. The two Jesus books are really, really beautiful novels. Even if you're not a Christian, I think they have something that you would find interesting if you appreciate her work otherwise.
I love her writing. Like I just would like to read the way she writes that, you know. For me, it's violin.
Which one?
Violin.
Ooh.
Yeah. Violin's been on my ever since we did the interviews, like we went over those like interviews
Charlie
from the
Rose.
90s, those Charlie Rose interviews. Violin's been heavy on my mind about wanting to read. Also, I've not done the Wolf Gifts, the Wolf books. And I do think that I think I'm going to read this winter is going to be like my sort of planning for that. So those are the big ones I'm excited about are the Wolf books and Violin.
Sarah Louise says, if you could travel the world with one Anne Rice vampire other than Lestat or Louis, first of all, damn you. You're going to hang that out there for me, but I can't take Lestat. Okay. If it can't be Lestat or Louis, who would it be and why? Kelly from the sideline says, Daniel. She means show Daniel, though. She does not want to build train sets with book Daniel.
Don't you know?
She wants Eric Bogosian. Everybody say hi, Kelly. She says hi. Mwah. I could put you, hey, if you want to come sit over here for a little while, I can put you an earbud in.
Yeah, hang out.
I asked, I was like, do you want to be on the show? Or if you don't, either way is fine. She's been hanging out and enjoying the balcony and the view.
It's gorgeous. How could you not? Look at the lights starting to peep. Look, I could see in the back.
I would say, I think my natural inclination, and for much of my life, the answer would have been Marius. Marius knows everything. Marius has been everywhere. Marius has seen so much. Why would I not want to? Also, he's incredibly powerful, could protect me from anything, put me back together if I got cut up, right? Why would I not want Marius by my side?
It appeals to that mentor.
Yeah, except we've dealt with it, and it's not just the TV show reaction, folks. It's not just the young'uns that don't know. It is us reading these books, in particular his book.
Over
Ashley and I
again.
were both like, actually, Marius can kiss both our asses. Pandora probably then becomes the answer for me, and I know that's yours. But Pandora, she gives you all of the knowledge that Marius has had, all of the world experience. She's lived with the king and queen as well. She's an incredibly powerful vampire, and she doesn't have a stick so far up her ass as to ruin the trip for you. So
my gal's drank the blood of Akasha, and she's not a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, precisely. Listen, I know you and I have been talking about if they don't do Maharet and Makare, we're going to be mad. If they don't do Pandora, I'm not going to forgive the stumble into freaking Marius if they don't bring us Pandora. Second, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Pandora is definitely my answer.
I knew it was. I didn't even have to ask you.
Because I want to go have fun with her. I want to go experience vampirism in the most fun way with her. And like experience humanity with her and remind her of what is really fun about living and what is really fun about partying with your girlfriends and fuck the dudes that are bringing us down. You know what I mean?
How many good times would you have dancing with her, right?
Yeah.
Like just.
Also, I'm not going to lie. If we're talking show version, I'd fucking party with Santiago. I would. I'd be like, let's go do some filthy, dirty shit, Santiago.
I'm with you.
Let's go get in an alley and eat some people and just be fucking nefarious. He makes that man makes me want to do terrible things as a vampire.
This one is so delightful, Ashley. Sarah Louise, her second question. What's one piece of advice you'd give a theater kid in their first year of musical theater that you wish someone had given you? I'm going to let you start. You're honestly a more devout theater kid than I am, I think, even. You actually finished your degree. I lack 3 hours. I lack 3 credit hours. They told me they weren't going to put both of them on the paper, so I didn't do it.
Take the dance classes, even if you don't love to dance. Because if you can sing and act, you have to be able to learn how to dance, at least somewhat. I didn't have a lot of dance in my background, and I really, really pushed against learning how to dance, and that was one of the dumber things I did instead of embracing it, and finding my own way throughout it. It also forces you into a certain it's tricky because when you're doing musical theater, you think, oh, I should be like everyone else. I need to look like a dancer. I need to sound like, Indina Menzel. And that's not the case. Like, you can look and sound like a lot of different things in musical theater, and there are a lot of roles out there. Not everybody's going to be on Broadway. And there's a lot of work that is not on Broadway. And I worked regularly in theater doing musicals for 10 years. Never set foot in New York City. So those are kind of my big pieces of advice, that there's a lot of work out there, but it's not the answer for everyone isn't Broadway.
I think that immediate rush to LA and New York that everyone says, many people say, oh, you got to go to LA, you got to go to New York if you want to work. I think that rush actually only works for people who have rich parents. You cannot devote yourself to the craft at the level to which you're actually going to latch on, unless you're just lucky, right? Anybody can get lucky.
Well, and you also, there are some schools that set you up for better success than others, you know, like schools that will do, you'll have, a showcase at the end that actual, casting people come to, and things like that. But, there's so much more work than what people think what people think there is out there. We think musicals, we just think Broadway, but, every one of those Broadway shows has tours. There are theaters all across the country, regional theaters, summer theaters doing those shows or similar shows, every summer that you can go work at and get better and get stronger and get more experience and pad that resume, and then when you're ready to make the big move, you can make it with a lot more confidence and with a resume that actually has jobs on it instead of just roles.
Yeah. The one other thing that I will add to that, because I think Ashley just gave you honestly everything that you need other than what you're going to get in class. And on the stage, in your program, paying dues is a real thing. I didn't understand that and believe that when I got to college. I didn't start in theater right away because I got my feelings hurt because I didn't get cast as Seymour freshman year in Little Shop of Horrors. Who the fuck did I think I was? I don't know. But everybody came from a place where they were the best actor in their whole town. That's why they're at college now acting. That's why they've moved on to the first level of professional, et cetera, right? Everybody you are in an audition room with is the best kid from their town. That's the way that it works.
For old Ashley, who had no theater program at her high school and just went in with all the audacity. But I wasn't expecting roles. I knew I had to learn because I knew I hadn't been on stage enough, but you're generally right. Everybody is the biggest fish from the smallest pond when you get into a collegiate program.
Yeah. Nicole Matza says, here's my question. Since we're heading into Queen of Damn territory with the show, my thoughts are returning to the novel. To be honest, I've not read it since about 1992, so I need to revisit. But I distinctly remember that Stan's interstitial poetry between chapters was a bit jarring for me, often throwing off the flow of the narrative. What did you guys think of that format for the book, and what do you think of the poems themselves? I am not a gigantic Stan Rice fan as a poet. There are several of his poems that deeply affect me. I acknowledge his artistry and his talent. I am an uninformed poet appreciator. My poetry is, I know, fairly mainstream. I'm a big fan of E.E. Cummings, for instance, right? Like, I genuinely, probably my favorite poem of all time is O'Shaughnessy, We Are the Music Makers and the Dreamers of Dreams. And y'all, I know that from Willy Wonka and the fucking Chocolate Factory, if I'm totally honest with you, right? So, that I know my opinion of Stan is couched in all of that. So I never made judgments on whether or not they were appropriate. I did also think to myself, though, when she put Stan Rice up against William Blake, Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright or something, for instance, it's like, hey, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things might not belong. At least for me, that was the way that I read it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
So I enjoy his poetry. It is his writing style is very different from Anne's. And so I totally get that kind of jarring feeling. I 100% felt that way too. I was very interested in his writing and the way he put things together. I do like poetry. What's hilarious is that I got so mad in AP English class about an E. Cummings poem.
Which one?
So much depends on a red wheelbarrow. It's like, it is, I could so much depends on a red wheelbarrow. And it's like, it then goes on to describe it like sitting unused, basically. And I was like, everything depends on this red wheelbarrow? So I really do. And I think that he creates some really interesting visual imagery, which is why I think it's interesting to put it next to something like William Blake, because for me, Tiger, Tiger has got like some of the most like visceral, like kind of like scary and violent imagery in a poem. And so I've always enjoyed his work, but I do find it very like incongruous with Anne's. So like you read one of his poems and then you go into a chapter of Anne's stuff and it's like, I can see how she is inspired by him, but the two writing styles are so
different.
Yeah.
So different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to acknowledge the talent of that family. And Christopher has been well successful on his own right as well. It's not just the books that he's written with Anne. It isn't just nepotism. And while Christopher's writing may not be your particular bag of tea, just as Stan's poetry may not be your thing, anyway,
it's a family of writers. Family of writers.
And as we found out at the celebration of life, her father was a storyteller. Her grandfather was a storyteller, right? This is familial history. So
well, and that's so much of a thing
very
too.
Fortunate.
I think that those of us that do like I identify as a storyteller.
100%.
But I do. I as an actor, as a comedian, my comedy, my stand-up is very storytelling based. You know, I share stories about my childhood and growing up and things like that. There is so much to be said for our oral histories and for those storytellers in our families that don't necessarily put pen to paper, but tell the best stories about their experiences or their, or their life. And there's just something to be said about how much having someone like that in your family adds to the richness of your ability to read, to interpret things, to connect emotionally with a story. It just like, if you are a storyteller, you tell good stories, please continue to do so. Please understand that oral history or oral storytelling is just as important as being able to write a book.
100%. 100%. Yali Pervy Spice says, I don't have a question to ask, but I just want to let you two know that being here and watching you two since the beginning of the series has been so much fun and insightful and has helped me get through some of the rougher changes made to the story, specifically with this season.
Good.
That feedback specifically is something that we've heard a lot since. Several people specifically have been like, Joel, your last week, what do we call it? My character arc for this season? Yes, my character arc for this season was apparently many people's character arc.
Yes,
so
it was.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Yeah, and I'm so glad we had those conversations about what you were struggling with, and when you let me reassure you about things.
Yes,
like,
and you did such a good job of it too. Like
that piece is really important. Like, let's just see. But that's why, like, it's a good place for everybody to come unpack it.
Y'all's positive takes and shared disappoints reassured me and really helped me enjoy the season more than I think I would have had I not been part of such a community. That is the point of community. Yali, thank you so much for being a great part of it too. Okay, Haviland, fairly recent patrons. Haviland says, I've got a question about the show. And I thought this was a great one because it's something I think that you and I both sort of just assumed. And I think a large segment of our audience is missing context like this. Haviland says, Louis and Armand are both bidding on the music box in the opening scene of episode 1. In the show, where do you think Armand is getting his money from? Did he and Louis split assets when they divorced? Does Armand get a profit from any of Louis' businesses? Was there a prenup? I haven't read all the books, not sure what the answer is there either. Okay, first of all, yeah, beautiful question, Haviland, just generally. But secondly, I don't think it had ever occurred to either of us. And we did talk a little bit about this in season 1, I think. By season 2, it's just part of the Louis now that we accept. This entrepreneurial Louis ain't in the books, y'all. He ain't there.
Yeah.
It's not there.
And we forget that a lot of Armand's money and funding actually came from Lestat.
So that's I think you and I forget that because in the novels, by the time you get to Queen of the Damned, Armand has an empire. He owns Night Island, for instance.
Yes.
He has multiple businesses on multiple continents. He owns homes all over the French Quarter, for instance, because he staked out New Orleans. Whenever Louis and Lestat aren't here, nobody else gets to come.
Yeah.
And so like in the universe of the TV show, when Ashley and I were processing season 1, I think we were both thinking, especially once we had decided maybe Rashid is Armand, it's like Armand is funding all of this. Armand's the one that's built this Dubai penthouse. Armand's the one that's made arrangements with the government. So for the show to bring in and give Louis that entrepreneurial outlook, first of all, I think it's a beautiful addition. Gives him so much more agency in the Louis Lestat relationship than he has in the later books, I think. So like, we think those are all great additives. We just also assumed Armand had his pile too.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we ever questioned it.
No.
Everything that Louis has been doing, Armand has been copying or replicating in some fashion himself. Specifically, if you look at season 3, and again, slight spoilers, Armand tells us at the end of season 3, he's developed himself an army. That army is tithing, for one thing. But also, Armand's army and Armand's victims for all time have tithed. Armand has had 600 years of eating people and taking their pocket change.
And running cults.
Yeah.
And running cults.
Like, yeah, I mean, he ran a successful theater for 125 years or whatever it was. Like, yeah, he's got his money. He's got his own money, though. I don't know that there was a prenup. My guess, if there was an actual divorce of some sort or a separation legally of assets, Louis did the best of that because Louis's got better lawyers, is my guess.
Yes, I would definitely bet on Louis having much better lawyers than Armand. Yeah.
Okay, Mandy Taylor.
It's really weird for me to like visualize vampires going through like divorce mediation. But it's kind of a hilarious thought, you know, and I think that's kind of what we all thought that scene this season that ended up being them talking about the damages to the hotel. I think a lot of us kind of were like, this feels like a divorce mediation big time, like gone off the rails.
Okay, Mandy Taylor says, now that we've seen the entirety of season 3, Joel, are you going to write or maybe animate the wolf killer scene that you wanted to see? Mandy, I'd never even considered it, honestly, until you asked that question. And now that you've asked that question, I genuinely have not been able to get it out of my mind. I don't know when I have the time. I will say this, though. I made a very silly animation from a story that Judah told Kelly.
So great.
Like 14 years ago, so long ago. He was like 3 or 4 years old. And
so
he tells
cute.
a story about a wolf and a fox and a tractor and a chicken, and it's hilarious. But I animated it. I used drawings and I used an iPad app that allows you to like back the drawing up in different ways. And I took screenshots and put it together in that sort of fashion. I genuinely might, now that you've put this nugget into my head, I almost can't help but. And if we never get it in the show, I can just wedge this in my own memory anyway. Also, it would make a pretty fucking sweet patron exclusive for a while, wouldn't it? So, Mandy,
I would like to demand a claymation stop motion animation.
Claymation. Okay. Now listen, I've got a daughter who builds paper mache models and who is currently a Lestat fan, Ashley. So wait a minute. Now
Let's
we might
not
have
make it a
something
family
here.
project.
Okay.
How dare we turn it into like wholesome
God
family
bless it.
time?
She's read the Wolf Killer chapter 2 already.
Yes,
She's
she
past that
has.
in the books. Oh my goodness. Okay. Mira asks,
Hey,
I want to hear y'all discuss Akasha. Can be related to Akasha Lestat or not. I am personally very fond of her for social ostracism, implicit Orientalism from Marius in the books, charismatic, makes a sound, mostly objective, reasoned argument in the books. Mira is outlining all these things about Akasha. Still definitely the arch villainess, and of course, not condoning her BCE imperialism or the plan that Lestat takes part in. So let's talk about it. First of all, Mira, I love you didn't even exactly ask a question. You're like, Akasha, wonderful despot. Let's discuss amongst yourselves. Akasha's argument in particular, given the last 25 years or so of our world history, makes a compelling bit of sense. Now, we've already talked about it. Genocide don't work, y'all. Genocide don't work.
I think it's really cute you think that this has developed in the last 25 years.
I'm saying my understanding of it.
No, you're being very generous.
The optimism of the 80s and 90s, or early 90s, I would say, is very different than the time we were in. But also,
100%.
So many of our heroes have been exposed for lying, filthy no-goods, right? Like in the last 2 decades or so. So many people who you and I looked up to as peers or people that we aspired to be in our industry or
the
whatever.
Best at what they fucking do. Thanks, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I mean, boy, that is a great... We were watching 227 in the hotel earlier, and Kelly and I were talking about how much we loved that period of sitcoms. And I mentioned the Cosby Show, and I just immediately I want to spit when I say his name now. The amount of good that show and his influence in Hollywood and America did for racial equity and development is unfathomable. You can't count it. And for him to have sacrificed that all for a little illicit nookie, it's like, what are you fucking evil? It makes me hate them so much.
It wasn't.
I feel that way about Louis C.K.
It wasn't illicit nookie. That was
he was raping.
He was drugging people.
Sorry.
I'll give Louis C.K. at least he was just jerking off in front of people.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't paint them with the same brush.
But it is awful. It's gross. Men are fucking gross. Women pick the bear so many times. Here's another thing, guys. You know what happens when I watch an episode of the TV show I Survived? Men are maybe in a plane crash because maybe one of them wasn't as experienced as he should have been flying the plane, or something weird happened. Men might get into might get attacked by a bear because they're logging in a forest where bears live. Meanwhile, women are being kidnapped, shot, dumped, raped, fucking abused by men right, left, and center. Even in true crime, women are getting screwed horribly by men. Even in you should have died, but you lived through it. Every story is about how a man almost murdered a woman. And for men, it's like nature happened. Whereas men is what happened to women. And as a woman, 47 years old, almost 50 years old, I'm in my midlife. I have put up with this shit for so fucking long, and it's exhausting. And so, yeah, when the queen's like, burn them, I'm kind of like, yeah, not the worst idea. Maybe a matriarchy needs to come to power. Maybe the societies that we've lived in, these fucking civilized societies that have been driving fucking capitalism and fucking human trafficking and fucking pleasure yourself but take care of no one. Maybe that time is maybe it's time for that to end. And obviously, genocide via a vampire queen is not the way to approach it. But when we say we get her message, this is what we mean.
Yeah, she is a very compelling character in the books too. I will say, when you and I last revisited that for a single episode, we just did one episode, not a multi-episode venture, which we will almost definitely do.
Yeah,
we'll
really,
do that before the next season, I'm sure.
The itch to pull out that book is so strong for me right now. I probably will pick it back up this week. Now that I've
my guess is you and I'll both read it between here and when we discuss it on the show. Yeah. The last time we revisited it, I did find her argument simpler and less compelling than I remembered it being as a child. Honestly, when I read the book my first time through the books, I was like, I see why Lestat's drawn up in it. And this time I was like, Lestat should know better,
Yeah.
And I know we will all feel that way because of how it affects the characters that we love. But the idea of a worldwide revolution in a way that is genuinely upending. It's appealing, y'all, to so many segments of our society right now, which is why it's one reason why I think we've had this right-wing rush in America, is because they want to overturn the status quo. They aren't happy with it either, which is why they've been pushing bullshit. We see, and I think we've been talking about, I think we're going to see the pendulum swing back to the left. And I think a lot of conservatives in this country are going to get unfucking comfortable with some of the things that we do in the next few years. Tough titty on that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, but Mira, you're right. She's an interesting character. And I think what they're going to do with Sheila and Rollin's mouth, I'd say Hannah's words in her mouth.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think it's going to be good.
And it is not to take away from the complexity of the violence of this character and what she does to the people that she, like when she is first turned, even when she's a queen, she's kind of cunty, so like there's a lot to unpack, a lot of layers. Genocide is not great. She's very abusive. I mean, what she does to the twins is horrifying. What she has done to the twins is horrifying. So like there's a lot to unpack with her, which is just the same as like every single one of these fucking characters. They are valid, they are monstrous, they are unhinged, they are passionate, they are driven, and they all have their own morality that they slide into it.
Pterodactyl says, because my mind is still blown and I have to revisit this whole season at least one more time before I can form thoughts. Fuck, marry, kill. Lestat, Gabriella, Louis. Okay. I'm going to marry Lestat. I'm sorry, I'm currently married and I can't. I'm not allowed. But if Kelly was ever into a
fuck, marry, kill. We're playing fuck, marry, kill. We're single.
Exactly.
When you play fuck, marry, kill, you're single. Come on, Joel.
Okay. In that universe, then it is Lestat. It's Lestat. Lestat. Marry. Happily ever after. I would be such a good man to my brat prince. Okay. Y'all aren't going to be happy about this. But I'd screw Gabriella and I'd kill Louis if I had to. And listen, I'm taking the book and the TV show version, and I am using all of them together to inform my choice here because I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
You and I have lived with these characters for 30 some odd years.
No, I agree.
This is not our only
impression. This is a combination of both.
I could never kill Gabriella. First of all, Gabriella is, Kelly on the side says, I could. Pachow. She bang. Gabriella in the books is such an amazing, independent character, so reminiscent of many of the women that I have loved in my life. A little distant emotionally, perhaps, and yet compelling and fascinating. We don't like her that much sometimes because she didn't teach her boy how to read. And in the TV show, obviously, it's a much more serious set of issues than that, right?
100%.
But y'all, Louis in the books was never that compelling to me. First of all, I never got the impression, as many of you did, and apparently Anne even said a few times, that she had originally intended David Talbot to be a Louis replacement, that she had sort of written off Louis in her mind to some degree, and then responded and brought Lestat back because of the fandom's response. I didn't feel that when I was reading it. However, I did ship it a little bit. I did say David is a better fit, Lestat, and David seems fine with you coming back occasionally to visit Louis, so no need to have a fight about it. But again, if one of them was going to go bye-bye, Book Louis can rot in his house full of dirty books. I'm sorry, y'all. You made me choose.
Well, I will fuck Lestat because I can't handle that much on a constant basis. Like, I would be like, you know what?
That's
You're
fair.
being a selfish twat, and I really don't have the fucking emotional capacity to deal with you right now. I will marry Louis. We will live in a house full of dank-ass books. And we will burn down anything that we need to burn down to emotionally progress to our next level. And I will kill Gabrielle.
I can believe it.
I can't.
Again, they forced us. They made us make a choice. Pterodactyl, how dare you?
No, look, I love fuck, marry, kill. I'll play this game 8 days a week. I've got no fucking qualms about killing somebody when you're playing fuck, marry, kill. And in this case, I will kill Gabrielle because I love Louis. I've always loved Louis. There's just like a part of my heart that wants to help him. You don't have to be so sad. We can have fun. We can have the kind of fun you want to have, not the kind of fun Lestat wants to have. We can find new fun. It's okay, buddy. Like, we can chill on the couch and read a book, bruh. We don't have to murder a tenor that sang a little off tune.
Lestat likes to lay on the couch and read a book sometimes, too. He's just going to do it in a dramatic fashion, okay?
Look, I'm fucking the hell out of him,
It's going to be
Joel.
Paradise
I'm getting
Lost.
in that coffin with him. I'm doing filthy things. I just don't need to
Okay.
take that home at the end of the day.
Pterodactyl says, follow up, bite, drain, turn, which I love this game. Regina, which, by the way, Pterodactyl, they need you as a writer on the After Dark. Like,
Really?
Bite,
This
Drain,
is
Turn
a
was
way
a better
better fucking game. All right, bite,
Yeah.
drain, turn. Let's hit it.
Bite, Drain, Turn, Regina, Raglan, Farid. All right, we're going TV show only on these three since Regina doesn't even exist there. But Raglan's so different so far anyway in the TV show. Bite, Drain, Turn, Regina,
turn.
Raglan, Farid. Okay, I'm going to turn Raglan. I am going to bite Farid, and I'm going to drain Regina. I did not care for Regina that much. I'll be honest with you. She was a mess. She was a mess. She was in trouble where she was. She was dragged into it by Armand. And yes, perhaps she didn't know that he was going to cut him up like he did, or however she said it, which was a beautiful performance from Delaney. But y'all, she was a mess. That girl's trouble. That was trouble before she found Armand, or Armand found her.
Look, just because you're trouble doesn't mean you're irredeemable. I'm riding Regina, sending her on her way with a good lesson about how she should proceed in life. I will turn Rashid because I think we'd have fun. And I would drain Raglan because the fuckery.
I want Seth to have been the one to turn Farid specifically, so I don't want him turned yet. I don't think they're going to turn Rashid because I think they're still trying to decide whether they can make Rashid or do they have to do Yarda as our body double when we get to Tale of the Body Thief. I think it's going to be Yarda.
Just playing bite, drain, kill. Bite, drain, turn.
That's fair. That's fair.
We don't have to, it doesn't have to be that deep. Who I want to snack
Courtney.
on, who I want to kill.
Who I want to snack
Who I want to party with.
Courtney says, do you still think we will get a mix of TVL in season 4, or are we done with that book? I think we both are in agreement there.
I think we're going to get some more of it because we haven't had the concert. And we're going to get the concert. I know everybody's feels like they got ripped off, but it's coming, y'all.
This is deep background. I have no verification for this, okay? But I heard that there was a conversation had in the vicinity of San Diego. And the conversation was that originally the order was 10 episodes, that they wrote 10 episodes, and that the order was cut late to 7. and that it was rewritten for a 7-episode season. Now, I can see, I'm not saying that's true. If that is the case, we might see where the truncation has been. And also, this has been very successful now. This has been a success for them. You reinvest, you double down, and you make more. I think we'll see more of the Vampire Lestat.
I mean, I think at the very least we have like 100 pages there that are left, or like 70. You know, like I'm trying to picture it in my mind.
Tania says, if you could interview Rollin, what would they say? 3 questions would you ask? Let's each come up with one.
Okay.
What would we ask Rollin if we had him on? I would ask him about The Godfather. Honestly, I think somebody even mentioned, I missed the interview. I haven't seen the interview yet, but apparently he referenced The Godfather in an interview. I think those pickups that I got across the season were not out of left field. I think those are actually inspired there. And I would love to hear his opinion of that series and Puzo's writing and Coppola's writing and the unfolding of that story in particular. I think Michael Corleone is not like Lestat in almost any way, right? Except that Michael Corleone is a horrible human being that we cannot help but be drawn to and enamored with.
I don't
right?
know. He's kind of obsessed with power. He's not always the best partner. He's not very honest with his partner. He commits horrific crimes against people he knows. I don't know.
In my bedroom where my wife sleeps, where my children play with their toys. Yeah, I would ask him about The Godfather. That's my first question. Now, listen, I would have a million questions, right? I have some specific deep lore Anne Rice shit that I would want to know his take on. But most of that stuff would be less fascinating, I think, for public consumption than a Godfather question. And I think I could get some really good sound bites from him if I had. I would love to interview him in the future. AMC, Rollin, if you're listening. Sam has seen our logo a few times. Somebody, I can't remember now who it was. Was it Sharlien? Sharlien Tippis took it.
Someone wore a shirt and told him about us. Oh, so sweet.
I believe that's the 3rd time he has seen our logo now. I know he's seen it at least twice. I think that's the 3rd time he's seen our logo. I know he's not on social media. That don't mean he don't got a podcast app, though, does it? Anyway, all right.
We're very complimentary.
Ashley, what would you ask him?
I would ask him, aside from Anne Rice, what other authors he finds inspiring that he would be interested in adapting. If I'm asking things that are outside of the Anne Rice world. If I'm asking things more inside the Anne Rice world, I would want to know, like, what are the most compelling characters to him and why?
That'd be a good one. That'd be a very good question. He is, and I had forgotten this. We've been talking about his Grapes of Wrath that's coming to AMC, but it's not just Grapes of Wrath. That is going to be the beginning of a new series for AMC called American Classics. They're going to do seasons of adaptations of great American classic novels, just like they've done The Terror, right? Which is an anthology, single season stories that are not really connected one to another. I think it's a great idea. My guess is he'd probably have more than one answer for you, Ashley. I bet he's got.
I love it.
Whether he adapts them all or not, I think he will be show running that.
Yeah, not like necessarily things that like he's on the board to be doing next, but like his bucket list kind of stuff. As far as like a producer, writer, creator. If there's other, or if he's more interested in going, if he's got some fucking original ideas that he wants to explore.
Brat Prince Brand says, are there any characters or scenes from the later books that you'd like to see incorporated in the show? I love how they've sprinkled Dr. Farid throughout season 1 and gave him a bigger purpose this season. I also wouldn't mind seeing Lestat waltz across a table and chop someone's arm off, a la Prince Lestat. Okay, Brat Prince Brand. Okay, Rose is one that I had not thought of until very recently, but I saw a great idea. And not very minor spoilers, but Rose is a character from the Prince Lestat trilogy as well, who could easily be molded into a role for Regina in many ways. I don't know that they will do that, but if they do want to keep Delaney around, if that is their intention moving forward, then I do think we might see elements of Rose's story played out through the character of Regina. The one from the Prince Lestat trilogy that I want to see the most would be Rashamondi's, I think, probably. I think Rash is a great character, very, very interesting, and connects to so much of our other characters in different ways.
And a good
That's helpful.
foil for Lestat, too, like a strong, interesting...
For so many of our elders, for so many of the elders, he's a good foil. This is not that late, but I am very, very hopeful that we don't have to go to that trilogy. It's even in the next book. I need Maharet. I need Maharet in a way that I needed the Wolf Killer. I needed Nikki. I need Maharet like that. I really, really do. And she's so close. Please bring her.
She's very close. Pretty please. She's very, very close. She's very close.
What about for you?
I mean, Pandora's obviously a big one for me. I want her introduced, and I would like to see that character explored in a really in less of a cursory way. I mean, I just really hope we get to the expanded. Like, I hope that we get to the point where seeing things other than Lestat's point of view. Although I love all of the, Lestat POV books, it's something I'm very interested in. Even going into Queen of the Damned, seeing how they're going to handle that split narrator, if they even address it or if they just stick with Lestat, it's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of develops.
I agree. I'm with you on that too. Holly Robertson says, do you feel like the show did enough to explain the dynamic between Lestat and Gabriella? It's been a long time since I read these books, long enough that I may as well be considered strictly a show watcher. And I have to say, I don't feel like enough effort was put into showing that their incestuous relationship started with abuse and continues to be abusive. It seems that they intended to make it as gross as possible for the shock value with little to no context. Holly, I think if you go look at the forums, most people do not agree with you. The young fans of the show especially are seeing that for exactly what it was intended to be.
Exactly what it was. And I think probably the disconnect is from having read the book, because it is not, that is not part of
we knew it was
pre-vampiric. Like, they obviously have a relationship that's a little too close, a little odd, a little not right.
Yes.
Yes.
But she's a fairly young mother. He is her maker in vampirism. He saves her from death, literally. They're two of the only vampires that they know for a good period of time, et cetera, et cetera.
And even going back
they're drawn together.
Their familial relationship in the book, it's much more like it's like when I hear a parent or a mother in particular, it generally is mothers, that are like, my child's my bestie. Like, your child doesn't need to be your bestie. Like, no.
It's a dangerous line. I like my children. I hope to be friends with them when they are adults.
Yes.
When you're raising them in particular, though, you cannot be their friend. You can begin to build the framework for which a friendship will be formed when you are both adults.
100%. But
that's different.
The only relationship that you have that you feel like you can truly relate to someone should not be your child, which is, I think, where Gabrielle is in the novels. There's so much of a piece of her that's like, this is literally the only person in my house I can remotely connect to on any level. Cabbages.
Yes.
I
think that is.
And that part is so much more true to the character than the incest, than the child abuse and or the 30-year-old son abuse, whatever,
Man, it is so weird. It is so strange, Ashley. You and I both have barking dogs on a regular basis, and yet here I am with a barking dog on a balcony in New Orleans. I don't know where down the street the dog. Okay, good.
Maggie was just barking a few minutes ago.
Haviland comes back in with another question. This is about production. Now that it's confirmed Hannah will be the showrunner for next season, Rollin is just an executive producer. What do you think Rollin's relationship to the show will be going forward? Just that. He's executive producer, and it's going to be mostly in name only. I think, especially in the short term, he will be used very heavily as a resource, right? It will be calling him when things hang up. Hey, we've hit this thing. We input on story beats or breaks that they're having problems, meeting or whatever. But this is Hannah's show now. Rollin is making another show. I have a dream he will eventually replace Mark, but Mark's probably not going anywhere, and perhaps that role is not a good fit for Rollin anyway. Yeah, it's really not. So what Mark does, and this is insider baseball in some ways, but as an executive producer at Mark's level, is not really giving input on story.
He's not
He
involved
may have
in,
ideas.
He's not involved in day-to-day operation of the show at all.
No.
Or in Mayfair.
His job is to go to AMC
get the
and
money
to make sure that they know we need more money.
Mm-hmm.
We need more promotion. We need a third show. We need to be at San Diego Comic-Con. My actors need this. We need to shift here. He's the one that does things like go to AMC and say, we're changing the name. We're going to do it every season.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why it's a good thing. He has the meetings so that Rollin and Hannah don't have to.
It's like
genuinely, that is part of it.
Like Big Daddy facilitator, like.
The Big Daddy facilitator is it. That is such a, boy, you put a fine point on it there.
Hey, Mark, how about that for a new title for you? Big Daddy facilitator.
Big Daddy. I want to see him in the suit like Rose's father from, not Rose, Blanche's father from Golden Girls. I want to see him in the white. So, Big Daddy, you've come to see us again. Okay. They also say, what do you think about Rollins leaving? Is it just to do another project? He's a real loss in the writer's room, but Hannah seems to up to the task. Yeah, that's just it. He is a fairly high-level writer. I know we've talked about before. I was not as intimately familiar with his work before this show, and now I'll forever be a fan. Turns out I was pretty intimately familiar with his work. Go look up his credits, y'all. He's been on stuff that we've all loved for a long time already, and he was powerful in those writing rooms as well. Now he is really in his prime in Hollywood. Every project that he wants will be on the table for him at this point. So, he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to strike while the iron is hot in this business.
Yep.
And right now he's hot. And so he can get other creative work that stretches him in different ways. He's been working on this show for, we've watched 3 seasons of it, add 3 years to the amount of time that we've watched it. And that is, they've worked on it for at least twice as long as we've been watching it. So.
Other than this is from Danny Dunzialis. Other than wherever Lestat is, Joel. That's I read that wrong 3 times. Other than wherever Lestat is, Joel. Because I've already told y'all I'm going to be where that man is. What single vamp, coven, or group from the books do you think you could spend the majority of eternity with?
I could party with those vampires at the theater in Paris.
I don't know that I could, honestly. I would like to visit, and then I would like to get out of town with Marius or Pandora back in my play.
Yeah. But if I'm picking a group, I'm picking that group. That's the group that I could party with.
I tell you, and yes, I know it's Costco Lestat. You don't have to tell me. I could spend my time with Jean-Claude from the Anita Blake books. Jean-Claude.
Outside of genre, outside of our world?
Yeah, you can go outside of our world. What single vamp, coven, or group from... Oh, no, she did say from the books. Oh, damn, Danny. I'm sorry. I broke your question. Now I've exposed. I like all the blonde vampires. My bad.
You do. You have a type, Joel. You have a type. My God.
He's literally a sex vampire, Ashley. What more could you want? His power is the power of the succubus. Like, come on. Incubus, I guess, technically in his case. But anyway, okay. Who would it be from the books? Who would I hang out with? Well, we've already said we'd travel the world with... I travel the world with Pandora. Yeah.
Pandora.
Yeah, it's probably Pandora.
I could live a good 100, at least 150 years with that Paris coven just doing plays and shit. I'd have a blast.
Okay. I got real excited for a second because I thought I could hang out with Maharet and Thorn. And then I remembered that Mayel is also there and I can't.
Yeah.
I can go visit, but I can't stay with Maharet. I can't do it. Okay, are there songs from season 3 that you think this is still Danny. Are there songs from season 3 that you think you would still love if it didn't fall within the context of the show? Are there any that you don't think you would like at all without that context? First of all, mea culpa, y'all, there is like half of the album that I have still not listened to. I have not, any of the songs that I have not reacted to on YouTube yet, I have not heard them outside of
the show itself.
Show. Yes, I'm waiting. I knew I had this travel. I'm behind on Dark Shadows this week as well for patrons, and it's because I'm traveling.
Listen,
we'll
we've not taken any time off in a very long time.
The loneliness The Loneliness is my favorite song so far. I love Your Biggest Fan, but The Loneliness, I listened to it twice on the way down to New Orleans today, honestly. It is such a good song, and I genuinely think it has a good chance to be my favorite song of 2026, irregardless of the show, irregardless of the fact that Lestat sings it. And that one even, I mean, I know there are many references to the world of the books in those lyrics. You can't drink away the loneliness, you can't screw away the loneliness, et cetera, et cetera. But
I mean,
that is just a rock song.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's just a rock song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be from the vaults at Paisley Park. So like that's my favorite one. If I picked one, that's it. Yeah.
I love Stained Glass Eyes so much, but I do not, that one doesn't hit as hard for me without the context of the show.
Yeah.
For me, that's the one that I was just like, I sobbed through the entirety of that the last section of that episode. But real talk, I love Butterscotch Bitch. Like, it just, that beat, that, like, the vibe of it, the audacity of it. Yeah, I love it. I love Butterscotch Bitch.
It's a great one.
Yeah, it just, and I mean, it's not the one that I connect to the most emotionally, but like, if I'm going to put on a song from this season and feel some good vibes, Butterscotch Bitch.
Jane Pruce says, I might be too late. And you weren't, Jane. You're fine. Do you think that Devil's Minion has already happened? Or will it happen in the present day? And either way, we will see it in season 4 or as it's the Queen of the Damned season. Okay, first of all, Jane, yes, I do think that we will see some Devil's Minion in season 4. I believe that they are hanging Devil's Minion out there to tease AMC, to tease executives, to tease this fan base, because they want to play it out in Night Island. I think they want that in another show. I think they know that is a built-in audience builder. It's a guarantee. It will make it a more sure thing than Talamasca or whatever other spinoff that they might have in the works. And they've got some others. But like Night Island is a done deal for all of us if we know it's going to be Devil's Minion. So like, that's your answer. However, I do think we'll get teases of it in season 4, yes. And I think it is both. I think it's yes and to your question generally.
I do too.
I think it is in the past and I think it is in the modern day.
And I think it is both in the past and in the present. And then at some point, we're going to have to either dispose of Daniel or fix how we've broken Daniel.
I think that resolution is coming in Tale of the Body Thief, y'all. I think we get Eric Bogosian for one full season in this show, more, and I think one full season of Night Island.
Yeah.
And then I think that
maybe
is
half of it, maybe the first quarter of the season of Tale of the Body Thief, if we go in order.
I think it may be even like the finale of Night Island, right?
Well,
like what a cliffhanger
they could
to leave it on what happened to Daniel and how does he, and again, I don't think we lose the character of Daniel. I believe what happens is we lose the actor, Eric Bogosian. As a permanent part of our crew. That doesn't mean that he couldn't come back. Okay, Stephen Dean says, hi, you two. With this part of the story having music attached to tell the story, I was curious if there was some other band that when you listened to them prior to the 3rd season gave you Anne Rice world vibes, specifically the vampires. What would the soundtrack be that has always thrown you back to either the movies or your best memories of what you read the books? I've always had The Cure and also Garbage as my hook. I feel like vampires would listen to those bands. All right, so let's start there first. What bands or soundtracks, albums have you thought of in the past as being very aligned with the book? I've mentioned one already previously, Anthony and the Johnsons. Anthony and the Johnsons has this unbelievable song called Fistful of Love, which is about an abusive relationship. And it is not exactly the story of Louis and Lestat, the way that plays out in the song. And yet it has always made me think of their love affair and the various ways in which they have irreparably harmed each other. And yet it is also true that for them it is love. That song is somehow less dark if you think about it being about Louis and Lestat than real human beings. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah. So that's mine off the top of my head.
Say like Florence and the Machine is someone that pops to mind immediately for me.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like just the utter vibes, like Seven Devils is such a fucking like it just has that sort of like otherworldly, kind of not quite human sort of quality to it. Everybody's scream is so good and is so Lestat. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna say Florence the Machine.
And then Steven says, lastly, since you guys have a new Halloween tradition with the Convergence, tell us what your best trick or treat candy ever was. And of course, the absolute worst when you were little door-to-door goblins. Love you guys to bloody pieces, and thank you so much. Okay, first of all, Ashley, I did too. I thought it was delightful. I very much was in the Halloween era when everyone thought everybody's candy had knives and razors in it. And so genuinely, we had to sort candy every Halloween when I was growing up. My mom was very much a candy sorter, and we would go through it. I am very picky about all of my foods, but candy is one of them as well. I like peanut butter. I like Reese's. I like M&Ms. I love peanut butter M&Ms. I like and this is so fucking basic. I like a Hershey's chocolate bar. I love a Hershey's chocolate bar, y'all. Hershey's Nugget in particular these days, the little small ones that are
thickers.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You like an almond in there or just straight chocolate?
Give me that chocolate, baby. Hershey's did it right. Why do you need to adorn it with something? I don't need no nuts. Give me that chocolate. I listen, I'm not an Angel Studios fan.
What's your least favorite?
I think I'm going to go see that Hershey's. I think I'm going to see that Hershey movie because I like Hershey's chocolate so much. My least favorite candy. My least favorite candy that I eat, because there are so many that I don't eat.
What's the worst thing you got what's the worst thing that's been dropped in your fucking bag for Halloween, Joel?
Candy corn. I have been forced to eat candy corn on more than one occasion, and I think candy corn is one of the greatest abominations. And the reason is because of its impact, right? Candy corn is widespread. There are lots of bad candies, but not so many bad candies that everybody gets in their bag. Everybody gets candy corn, and candy corn sucks. Candy corn sucks.
I like candy corn. It's got kind of a maple syrup flavor to me that sort of appeals to me. I love it. I hate they're wrapped in black or orange wax, and I think they're called peanut butter kisses, and they're just this gross chewy piece of peanut butter taffy, and they're disgusting. That's the worst candy you could put in my bag. Fuck that. Peanut butter kisses. But probably my best, y'all. I love a Snickers.
Snickers.
I like to eat a Snickers in layers. I like to start with the nougat. Eat the nougat off the bottom. Snickers has the most superior nougat of any candy bar. It's so good. Eat the nougat, then maybe eat a little of the chocolate on the outside, and then eat the rest of it, peanut and caramel. That's it.
Nice. All right. I've got two great questions, but I'm pushing one of them off a little bit because I'm going to see if Kelly will join us.
Okay.
For that question in particular. Okay, Heather says, audiobooks versus reading books. Discuss. You've likely addressed it at various times over the years, but if there's time, would love your take. I'm new to audiobooks, but it's the only thing that gets me reading these days. My day job is desk-bound. I can't stomach the idea of sitting more and reading, but an audiobook lets me putter, garden, take walks, etc. Sometimes I have to rewind because I get all distracted. Maybe that's all part of the process. I'm particularly curious because I've realized how odd it is hearing quotes or dedications and the like, but not knowing that's what it is until the end when the reader cites the source. Okay, I've got a good story about that, Heather. I heard Queen of the Damned incorporates poetry, and I'm wondering if the audiobook will be a bizarre experience. Okay, technically two questions, I confess. Pick as you like. Heather, several people asked two questions. You guys are patrons. We love to do things like this for you. Don't worry at all. Okay, first of all, I believe I have told the story on the show. One of my best friends from college, he is the godfather of some of my children, and he and I nearly came to blows one night because he says that audiobooks aren't reading. It doesn't count. And I never mention it in front of him anymore because I don't want to fight Richard. I love him. But he is so wrong on this that it is genuinely, it's like having a MAGA family member. I feel like almost. I feel so strongly about it.
I do too.
I don't want to pick the argument with anybody that feels in some sort of philosophical way like he does. People are allowed to have opinions, even ones that I disagree with and think are bad. However, I just want to say, like, accessibility. Is Braille not reading?
Exactly. Like
Our
what the
deaf can, yes.
no.
Come on.
This is why I do have a hard line on this. I think if you think audiobooks aren't reading, you're a twat. Audiobooks are 100% reading. 100%. You're reading like you're a twat. Hey, tell Richard he's a twat.
Richard can sometimes be a twat. We're talking about audiobook reading.
I for accessibility purposes, also, I'm in the same boat. Like, I spend 8 hours. Hey, gorgeous. I spend 8 hours a day sitting in front of a fucking computer, and if I don't get some stories in my life, I'm going to throw myself out of the second floor window I work out of, and it's not far enough to kill me. It's just far enough to hurt me badly, you know? So audiobooks are just as valid as reading a book. Now, this is an interesting thing. Sometimes for my favorite books, I have a hard time with an audiobook of my favorite books because I've read them so frequently that I can hold them in my hand, and the weight of it, I can almost turn to any page and know. I mean, I know I can turn to any page and know exactly what's happening,
Right.
but it's like knowing like that, just that particular weight of that favorite book just feels a certain way. And it's really, really hard to have that book read to me. Now, if I finally figured out the fucking speed of it, though, and now I can listen to that book because now it feels like I'm reading. I've got it at the speed where it feels like I'm reading it instead of it's being read to me. So
Yeah.
that's one of my diatribes about audiobooks. I think they're amazing. There's some things I prefer to read book in my hand, but audiobooks for life.
I am almost entirely audiobook now. I very rarely read something physically or even as an e-read, just because for whatever reason I can process it faster. I can read it in audio like I used to could read books physically when I was a child. And I can't read it that fast now. My eyesight is not as good, and I don't have the hours and hours to devote to physically reading like I can. I can put an audiobook in and have it all day long, basically. As I do a million other things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'll get it like an 8-hour listening session and in a shift at work, just having it on while I'm doing shit, you know?
Okay. This is from Mandy B, which, by the way, Mandy B is also Amanda Ballinger. I messed that up because we've got various names across platforms. Mandy pointed that out to me the other day.
Some of y'all aren't using your government names.
I know, right? Sorry, baby, you had an interjection on the audiobook question?
I love you guys because I turned off Golden Girls to come out here.
Oh, holy shit!
And
what episode?
I was going to say, I knew she put clothes back on.
What episode were you watching?
I knew she had to put clothes back on.
And they started giving gifts because they're all worried about treating robes.
Oh my God.
To shop for. They're going to go.
That's adorable.
I love it.
Okay, here's the question that I made you put on clothes for. Love. Mandy says, this may be too personal, so I completely understand if you don't feel comfortable answering. First of all, I put a disclaimer in the AMA post. Like, if you ask like too personal a question, we will just like send you a short message and perhaps even give you some answer to it in a message. We won't put it on the podcast or something like that. Nobody asked too personal a question. I don't know why I was worried. Nobody asked too personal a question.
We're also notorious oversharers, Joel. It's fine.
That's the truth. Mandy says, I have loved the Articulate Lovin' episodes. Brett and Kelly, sorry if I misspelled any names, are so much fun. I would love to hear the stories of how Joel met Kelly and how Ashley met Brett.
Oh.
Also, do you think we might get another pair of Articulate Lovin' episodes? Again, if this is too personal, don't feel pressured to answer. I love you both bunches. Okay, so this started because you and I wanted to do something with you on the YouTube channel because we were starting to make videos. And the Patreon, I wanted to put something on Patreon because back then we had nothing for you all on Patreon. Now there's literally like 40 Dark Shadows episodes that other people don't have. So there's all these other things too. So I don't, if you sign up new, I feel like you got lots of cool stuff to look at. So I don't feel like we have to constantly put extra stuff. But you and I want to finish Wolf Like Me at some point.
Yes.
We just haven't, we've got so little time.
They canceled it after the second season. So
Yeah.
it doesn't. Seen it. He has not. But
No, you finished it. Oh, you watched it even before we talked, didn't you? Yeah, I forgot that. She had already seen it. That's right. So there will be more of that at some point in the future. And I don't think that is the only thing that you and I will watch for this show either. I don't know what else it would be. But
Well-
even when we were looking at that show, there were other things that we were talking about doing maybe.
And that, and like when Brett and I started doing Usher,
Follow the House of Usher, yeah.
my intention was for it to be like a little
Just for
Patreon
us.
thing. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Joel was like, what are we doing? Let's just do a whole fucking thing. So I was like,
Well,
okay.
so that's great.
Flanagan is going to end up being like the gift that keeps on giving
Yeah,
for us.
it is.
Like, y'all,
It is.
that fool announced a new project this week. He's doing Warhammer. Ashley, did you read that?
He is.
I've been waiting for an opportunity to mention it.
He's just my guy. That's my guy.
Anyway, we like Mike as much as we like Anne, honestly, and so it just felt like a good fit. And also, the very first time that I heard an episode with Brett, I was like, literally, the Coven is not going to let me back on this show. He is so.
Like, it's just, yeah, he's an excellent.
And you two have such great chemistry as well.
You know.
So like, okay, so that's the second part of that question is yes, there will be more of those. I'm sure we'll have Brett on in the future for something.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about whenever we do
Oh.
Dr. Sleep, we're going to have him on. For
Yeah,
instance.
and we're actually dragging my brother along for Hill House if you haven't heard. So that's going to be really fun too.
That's right.
Give you the fucked up sibling perspective on all that
Yeah,
crazy shit.
yeah.
Yes, Slade was with us last year, right?
Mhm,
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, to the other part of the question, how did Joel and Kelly meet, and how did Ashley meet Brett? Ashley, I think we've like vaguely maybe hinted at these stories before on the podcast.
Mhm.
Since Brett is not here to hold up his end, I'm going to let you tell yours first.
Well, Brett and I both met we met in Birmingham, Alabama at the Birmingham Children's Theater. And my dad passed away in 2001 while I was working at Disney. And I took a year off after that to kind of be at home with my family and sort of deal with the fallout of all that, you know. And then about a year passed almost exactly. And a buddy of ours from college, Steven, reached out to me and was like, hey, I set you up an audition. All you have to do is show up for it. It's here at this time on this day. You're going to be there already. Go here, meet this person, get a job. It's time for you to get back to work. So, did that audition, got a gig, did a production of The Secret Garden there at the Children's Theater. I played Mary. And then a few months passed and they were doing auditions for their next like season. So I went and hit that audition, and Brett was also at that audition. Now, his best friend at the time, who was still his, best friend, it was our best man at our wedding. Jamie was like, Brett, you are dying in Kansas City. You hate it there. Please come to Birmingham and audition for the season of shows here in Birmingham. So we were both at that audition, at that second audition, and both of us got cast in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, wow.
Where Brett played one of the grandparents, and he played Mr. Salt, Veruca Salt's dad.
Oh, nice.
And I played Mrs. Bucket and a Noompa Loompa.
Well, you are tiny.
Listen, there is a role for every actor, and there's an actor for every role.
That's
Ashley.
right. And when you're under 5 feet tall, the roles just are wild.
And you gave him that old doopity doo, didn't you?
I did.
That's
I gave him the whole
all
doobity doo. No, like he has long curly red hair. He looks like a fucking Viking if you haven't seen him. And
Islander.
we were like sitting in rehearsal, and I started playing with his hair, just like flirty playing with his hair. I was like, oh my God, your hair's gorgeous. I wish I had these curls, and then it was just on from there. When we really got to hang out and talk, we realized that we are male and female versions of basically the same person, except he has the confidence of a white man in society.
Of a white man that's almost 7 feet tall, too, Ashley. Let's be honest.
yeah. So
He's a large white man.
So he has some audacity, but that's great. It's been really good for me. But yeah, that's how we met. We dated for like, we dated for like less than 5 months, and 3 of them was long distance, and then we went to Blue Jacket, and then we moved in together starting then, and haven't left each other alone since then. So
This is adorable.
yeah, we've been together 20.
Why? Oh, Tecumseh. She's wearing Tecumseh. We both wore Tecumseh shirts down here today, Ashley.
I love it.
So they don't sell Blue Jacket shirts anymore, y'all. All the ones that I have are vintage and they fall apart, right?
It's
defunct. Blue Jacket is the outdoor theater in Ohio that
the epic
Ashley and
outdoor
I and
drama.
Brett all work. That's right, the epic outdoor drama, baby. Tecumseh
it's
is
also the place,
down the road at Chillicothe.
It's also the
and
place
still working.
that if you were in college and your boyfriend worked there, where they would cheat on you all summer long. Thumbs up.
I did not have a girlfriend either summer at Blue Jacket. I will just say that.
I wasn't a girlfriend either summer, apparently.
Oh, that's sad. What is so sad is I can't even argue with that at all because I am. I can think of 12 relationships ended. Yes.
Yeah.
Couple of marriages. Blue Jacket dalliance is also those.
How long have you and Brett been married now?
We got married in this will be 21 years this year, and we've been together 23. Wow. 23. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
That's awesome.
Now you tell how we met.
Okay. So I was married before he was married before.
And we were a Blue Jacket dalliance. No.
No, we were not. No.
Joel, when was Kelly in Ohio?
And about the time his marriage was ending, my first husband passed away. And turns out Joel and my first husband, Kerry, grew up in the same town. And so, and it's a very small town. And
we were not friends, but we were very familiar with each other. And
yeah.
we all
yeah. And so, Joel had started, he was working at the radio station, and they had taken the Peach 99.3, and which was a kind of like an oldies station, which now plays our stuff sometimes.
All the time. It's all the plays.
Yeah.
It's like our music.
Yeah. They had
I'm the one that switched it.
Yeah.
99.3X.
Yeah. And so when it started playing 99.3X, it reminded me a lot of this radio station here in New Orleans called B97 that I grew up listening to. And I heard Joel Sharpton because she uses. Yes. Yeah. And Joel Sharpton is a name that you like hear often. It's not like John Smith. You know?
Right. It's got
and so I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Is that the same Joel Sharpton from Bastrop? Like that I've heard Kerry mention over the years, like on different times. And so I did what every normal person does is I looked him up on Facebook. And I was like, oh, 80 something mutual friends. Yes, this is absolutely the same guy. And so I just sent him a message and I said, hey, I really love the new radio station. I don't know if you know who I am, but I was married to Kerry Paul. Thanks for the radio station. I love it. Keep it up.
Aww.
And he messaged back and was like, man, I was so sorry to hear about Kerry. Thank you so much. I'm really proud of it. Blah, 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 blah. I had a boyfriend at the time, technically. And
didn't like him.
Yeah.
I did. Later husband did not know at the time that he liked boys or wouldn't admit it anyway out loud.
Yeah.
Unlike her husband, who only likes boys. Whereas her husband is very much a bisexual.
Yeah. And like, no harm, no foul. Like, no. That's fine. You do you, boo. Make yourself happy.
Figure it out.
And so, yes.
You run into a lot of those sweet boys in Louisiana.
You do. And look, he was a great,
wonderful.
Yes.
Not a good boyfriend.
Sure. Yeah.
And I fixed that for her.
Yeah. And so on Cinco de Mayo, I put on Facebook, this guy, Bradley Bridges, was playing at this bar. They used to be the Q Stick, Ashley.
Yes. Familiar with the Q Stick?
The Q Stick was, you got to tell him, the Q Stick was a slaughterhouse that had been turned into a bar.
Yes.
And had been rehabbed from the terrible bar that it was, which mostly still smelled like the slaughterhouse, to the Three Docks Brewery. These three professors had come and bought it. They had been establishment.
It's not last. Some great memories. I had some really fun nights there.
I had a blast at the Q-Stick several
I
times.
had so much fun at the Q-Stick.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy, lame. So they where was I? Oh, on Cinco de Mayo. I put on Facebook, hey, Bradley Bridges is playing tonight at Three Docks. Is anybody going to be there? You know, and Joel said, I'll be there for work. And I said, awesome. I could finally meet Joel. So when I got there, he was talking to a musician from our town. And I was like, oh, there he is. And so I was there with friends. And so I walked across to like, hey, you know, hi, nice to meet you. And he was like, oh my gosh, hi. And we gave each other a hug and we started talking. And then we immediately left everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent the last $3 he had, like literally the last $3 he had to buy me a beer.
Y'all, when I lived in New Orleans and was married the first time, I had achieved $1,000, and then my marriage dissolved, and we're moving back to North Louisiana. And when I moved back up there, the first year in radio, I sold ads. I was terrible at it. I made $13,000 that first year in Ruston, from $50,000 to $13,000.
Oh my God!
I was so broke. There that night. And I was looking forward to meeting Kelly. Kelly and I had been interacting some on Facebook. She liked all of my posts.
She's pretty.
She's figuring.
Thank you.
I was like, this could be nice. I also knew she had a boyfriend, and I am not a cheater.
Nope.
I'm not a cheater either, Joel.
I feel very devout about that. It's a serious. I have a few times in my life technically been in a short-term something with someone who was a cheater. Not a cheater. Bothers me that I know that I'm helping somebody else. And I technically for like a week, you and I did, I guess.
Sure.
But I knew from go. Here's what I knew. I knew that she was dangerous for me. I did not want a wife. I did not want a new chapter. I wasn't ready yet. I was trying desperately to be a good dad. I was trying desperately to figure out my career and like how to rebuild a life for myself. And I didn't. A woman was not part of that. I did not imagine.
Oh yeah.
She was so captivating and compelling. The moment that I saw her, y'all, when she lifted buttons, I didn't to talk about his performance on the radio. I didn't do that. I did not talk to Brad. We joke about it being our Brad-anniversary when we get to say goodbye each
year.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, we started talking. And then right before we left, like, we closed the bar down. And he said, hey, I know you have a boyfriend and everything, but would it be weird if I got your number? And I said, no. He said, maybe I can take you to dinner sometime. And I was like, sure. And then I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you get my number. And then he goes, actually, I'm going to give you my number. And that way you can do whatever you want with it.
I love that move.
And
Joel.
I was like, okay. So he did. And before he got into his car, I had texted him and I said, now you have mine. And then
aggressive consent has always been very important.
Enthusiastic.
Yes,
consent.
enthusiastic.
I think it's enthusiastic consent. Aggressive consent.
And so we started talking a couple of times that month. And then we actually met up like a couple weeks later, probably 3 weeks later, like the end of May, and started hanging out. And then
hanging
it took
out.
me, yeah. We were talking.
What talking means, actually. So it's like, it means what you think it means, Mom.
Yeah. And then like 4 weeks later, you know, I broke up with my boyfriend. But it was funny because like he lived next door to me and I saw him maybe twice in those next couple of weeks, including my birthday is June 30th, and we lived next door to each other, and I did not hear from him until 8 p.m. the night of my birthday. And then he was mad that I wasn't even home. I was with him. He took me to one of his best friend's house, and his best friend has a birthday 2 days before mine. And so, like, I walked in and there was like ice cream cupcakes, and I was like,
hell yes,
this is gonna be great.
This is where I want to be tonight.
Yeah. I broke up with him 2 days later, and then Joel ran me off about a month later. And then
right around this time of year, actually.
Yep.
I used to punish the 2 weeks in August every year.
In fact, it's right now, because in my memories today was me at the Sugar Ray concert. 15 years.
I told y'all I was scared of her.
No, she's
I told
terrifying.
y'all I was scared of her. I knew there's a song I played it in the car on the way down today. Remy found it actually on Instagram, this young artist, which I'm not going to remember the name. Let's see if I can, I'm not going to find it on my phone. Anyway, the song is called I Think I'm in Love. I think I'm in love with you, but it's just too soon to tell. I think I'm in love, but I haven't told myself. That's the chorus. And, it was so obvious to me that this was my wife. This was my life. This was my future. And I was just scared. And I thought I can hurt her feelings and she will go and I won't have to make a choice and I won't have to betray what I thought I was doing right, which is like focusing on my life and my kids. And also I won't have to say no to the, I can old yell her. I was going to take her out behind the shed.
No, I can be a little coward and not connect to my emotional well-being and be mean like to a girl that's worthy of my time. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe say he grew up with me like from Sesame Street, like here.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I did it. Not even that. It was not a full week, I don't think, before I texted you.
Good.
It was down south. And I said, how is that girl that you left me for?
2 days. 2 days I went, two times I went to see this other girl. And
how dare you?
He said, that is not going to be a problem anymore. And I said,
and she didn't. She made me wait. She made me wait longer than that to see her.
Good.
But she made me wait 2 weeks before we even talked, really. She wouldn't even talk to me. And rightfully so. And genuinely, I mean, how deep were we into our marriage before you stopped giving me a cold shoulder in August? For real. At least 4 or 5 years into our marriage. It was 6 or 7 years after this had happened.
That's what you get.
It was very affecting. Yeah.
That's what you get.
Yeah. I deserve the cold shoulder for sure.
No, once Brett and I met, we were the same way. We were like, oh, well, this is it. Why have I ever hung out with anyone besides you?
Yes.
Oh, holy shit! This is the most fun I've ever had in my life. All I do is laugh. You're not mean to me. You don't make me feel less than. What is all this? Yeah.
Like who? What?
I'm not begging for your attention. I don't have to beg to be loved. Oh God, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, like, my first husband died in February of 2010.
Like, it was I think it was a week to the day from when Ella and I had decided for her to move out, or maybe it was 2 weeks, but it was right in the same vicinity.
Just huge things.
February 20th. So, a little bit of 3 years.
Yeah, total. Let me tell you how protective I was of my life, though, because even after August, even after I had brought her back into my life, I still made her wait until January. So it was like another 6 months before she met the boys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to take your time with that. Yeah.
I had screwed up and I dated this girl that I had known from high school. She was a mess. And I took the boys like to hang out with our kids and stuff, like 2 weeks into us seeing each other. And it was such a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I never was going to make that mistake again. But like one of the reasons why I changed my tune on marriage was once I had introduced her to the boys, it so quickly became obvious to me that I was doing them a disservice for keeping her out of their life.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is an amazing woman. And they've got a mother. I'm not trying to replace her.
No,
but
not at all. But
they don't have a feminine presence in my life involved with them.
Well,
and more than that, if she was just a person that they knew, it would be important to introduce them to Kelly. She's amazing.
Didn't have a Kelly yet. Exactly. Like
they didn't have a Kelly yet.
Yeah.
God. Oh, y'all. Okay. She had been hanging out with us, meaning me and the boys, for like a week. And one of the boys had a sore throat because they always had sore throats then. God, when they started school, they were just sick continuously.
Filthy children.
I was pouring up the cough medicine, right? And giving him cough medicine. And as soon as I had poured the cup with the cough medicine, I also filled him a glass of water and set it beside the cough medicine. So when he took his cough medicine, he could drink water. And she goes, hey. You know you're supposed to let it coat their throat for a little while, right? Don't give me that water right away. And I said, what do you mean coat their throat? And she goes, how do you think cough medicine works?
He said, well, he's like, so he started saying to the kids, like Wendy to their lost boys.
We were lost boys and we needed a Wendy.
Yeah.
We needed somebody to come and explain to us how to work. There was another, and I can't remember what it was now off the top of my head, but there was another thing about the kids with like some medicine or breakfast or something that I was just doing wrong. And she was just like, hey, you idiot. And I'm like, I've had these children for like 4 years.
They're alive still.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Anyway, she is my beautiful. She is my life, my love. Mwah. Y'all are very fortunate to know her as well.
We are very lucky people.
And thank you.
Here's another thing that I just want to mention in this section before I let you go, Kelly. The Coven needs to appreciate Brett and Kelly, even if they weren't cool and were on the show sometimes. Brett and Kelly give us to you so much.
Yes.
There are so many times where Kelly and I will go a whole day and she will just, in one moment towards the end, she'll be like, hey, could we talk about something other than the Coven for like 30 minutes?
We were on our... Oh, he was taking me out to dinner because he had been lonely.
It was before I went to Arizona. I took you out to dinner before.
And I was like, hey, I know we have one day that was yes in New Orleans, but like, could we maybe go have dinner like just two? Because I'm gonna have
kids and it's gonna be crazy.
Right. We took an extra day last time and we stayed through Tuesday and it was so nice.
Yes.
Like to just
and it's like the way that he started saying something about in the chat because the chat of it. The chat.
Not every day. A lot of times I mute them for like 8 hours at a time and go to work. I really do.
Sometimes
I'm very good about it.
It's busy. I had to anytime because Joel and I connect to our app through a Facebook message. I always have to close Facebook before we start recording because otherwise our chat will pop the fuck off. Yeah. There's 5 new messages since 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Literally like this. I'm like, can we not?
Can we not do that? Yep. Whoops.
And check, please.
On the flip side, though, like, and I know Brett feels this way too because I've heard he and I have talked about it. How fucking cool it is that you and I have gotten to build this together.
Yes.
And to have this fan club and everything. Like, it's so much fun, and they have fun with you all too.
Yes.
But you need to know you because I didn't know you.
No. Yeah.
No.
You and person for the first time at Halloween last year.
Yeah.
It's so hard to believe, but yeah.
Like, we had never. And
No.
I'm so excited to meet you in person
I know.
and meet Brett. And it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
And like the community of people and the Coven members are my friends too. And we are Facebook friends.
Yes.
And like, because we made connections, not necessarily like we and I love it. I really, yes, it does.
It can be a lot,
Oh,
but also it's rewarding.
balance.
It's like having kids.
It's
genuinely,
balance.
yeah.
You know, we gotta have our balance.
I am so sorry that I'm trying to keep my laptop awake. It keeps dimming on me and the lights go dark here on the balcony. Thank you. Thank you all for bringing our spouses into this as well, and for our extended family. And like,
Yes.
you guys were also fun with Stuart and Carrie, who
Oh.
you guys had so much fun with them. Anyway, the Coven is not just Ashley and me. It's not just Kelly and Brandon. It's all of them. And this is a family that we have built. It's a found family. It's a chosen family.
It's a good family.
It is a good
It's a good family.
Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah, I love it.
I will
Oh,
let you go now if you want to. I've got one more question.
I love you.
I love you, Kelly. I can't wait to see you.
Please tell. I know I can't wait to see you either. Tell Brett I said hello.
I will. He's up dealing with filthy stand-ups right now.
Ugh. The two curly redheads need to get back together.
That's right.
I feel. Yeah.
The articulate others. The articulate others.
Yes, the articulate others.
Now, take it again, if you would like. I would like. All right. Jolie is our final question.
Okay,
I love you,
excellent.
baby. I'll see you in a few.
It's good. I need a pee. So we've gone.
Me too.
we're
I
like
was literally
2
just thinking. I
hours
was like, we
in.
gotta go. Okay. Oh, first of all, quickly, so that I don't have to do this on the sign off. There will be no afterlife this week, y'all.
Oh,
We're gonna push off Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, to next week. My traveling, I just didn't have time, honestly.
Look, he was on his own journey through the fucking desert.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? I will have thoughts about Priscilla's journey. Also, I needed an RV. Is what I needed. Okay, more personal question. This is from Jolie. Jolie, who is going to be hosting us for a 10th anniversary Convergence.
Jolie.
Ashley, can you tell us more about your short film and if there's a place we can see it? And Joel, can you tell us more about your podcasting business, what you offer to business owners and businesses? I'll start first because I want to finish with your short films, because this year is still probably not out there yet, but you've got body of work that people can access.
Actually, I have another YouTube channel you can visit. So go ahead.
So for me, you can find me at joelsharpton.com. You can find me at propodcastingservices.com. That is a mouthful. I thought when I found it, I was amazed that no one had taken it. It seemed like such a perfect domain. I haven't done nearly as much as I should have with it. What do I do for people? I do this. I help them create the shows that they want about things they're passionate about. I primarily work for businesses these days. I work for a lot of medical organizations and associations. I do live conference filming. I edit video now more than audio, although I still edit some audio. And I do really cool things like this project I'm doing this week. I can't tell you too much about it yet, but I'm going to be filming a couple here in New Orleans and telling their story eventually through a podcast. And we'll have it on the Articulate Coven YouTube channel, and it'll be up in the podcast apps as well. So Ashley and I said it earlier, we both consider ourselves storytellers, but that is my website says amplifying voices, sharing stories, amplifying voices. That is what I think my mission statement in life is. So that's me. That's what I do. Ashley, tell us about your film work in particular.
Well, I don't do a lot of film work, but we have been participating in the 48-hour film festival, which is it's a global competition. Our entry last year won our state level, and we got to go to a film festival in Portugal. It was very cool.
Wow.
So we just kind of dabble in that. It's a really cool competition. It's like you get a genre, you get a character name, you get a line of dialogue and a prop that all has to be used within the film, and you make a 7-minute film over the course of 48 hours. I'll definitely share a link when we have this year's. Last year's, I should reshare that. I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put it up in the show notes for this episode.
We had a holiday film last year, so we created a horror movie built around Easter, which was hilarious. This year we had a fantasy genre, so we kind of did a spoof of like a Cheers episode in a fantasy bar. So it was really fun. I do improv though. I do improv comedy, and if you're on YouTube, you can look up Improv Little Rock. You can find some of our shows on there, and then clips of kind of more individual scenes or snippets as well, reels and things like that. So you can kind of check out what I do. That's like, whose line is it anyway? We literally get suggestions and make shit up off the top of our heads as we go.
And are doing it every fucking week. That's the thing that I think.
A weekly performance.
I've always been so jealous of Ashley because she has maintained her theater work and connection in a more direct way than I have in my life. A lot of times I'll talk to our old professor Mark, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not really in theater anymore." He's like, "What do you think you fucking do for a living?"
He's the best.
Like, you are.
About reminding us how everything we do connects to that world still. Yeah. But yeah, so it is very important to me to still have a performance outlet. I would not be a happy person if I still weren't getting to be on stage pretty regularly. So I'm very lucky that we get to do that. So Improv Little Rock on YouTube. You can see a hilarious
scene. And we'll put those links
about me and one of my cast co-stars doing a hilarious scene about getting your period in church.
Nice. And we'll put those links in the show notes too for this episode. Y'all, this was so much fun. We're going to have to do more AMAs in the future. This was the first one like this we'd done. And I was a little worried what it would be. I sort of assumed it would basically all be show questions, and it really was not at all.
It's fun. I love it.
So thank you.
A good mix. Also, I feel like just getting to see your background, Joel, almost made me feel like I was close enough to New Orleans to get like a little hit.
I know a lot of y'all needed a little hit today. You got 2 hours of ASMR visual screen time here, so you got to watch the sunset over New Orleans. What a lovely evening it has been with you all tonight. I look forward to talking about Priscilla, Queen of the Desert with you next week. Ashley and I are going to begin our discussion of Flanagan.
Hill House starts next week.
Haunting of Hill House. That's right. Haunting of Hill House starts next week.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna smoke a little and watch that.
I think we might watch the first episode too, actually. I don't know if we're in a haunted hotel, so I don't know if Kelly will be up for it here.
Do it. But, it's so good.
Okay. Until the next time we talk to you, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven.
Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.